If anything else, you should...
Legend status right there.
If anything else, I'm echoing real bad. Hello? 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 I'm going to start talking. So, no. Do I need to get rid of this? Now I'm good. Okay. Yeah! Okay. If anything else, you want to host the TWC just to get that warm welcome right there, and have all y'all jumping up and down for me because I'm a mess, I'm a wreck, and I'm like y'all clapping for me. That's weird. You should have seen me get dressed this morning. It was very. Oh, dear Lord. But let me run through a few announcements real quick. Upcoming events. We got the best show, the greatest show on earth, Family Reunion, July 18th through the 21st. This is an event that will change your life. It'll change the trajectory of your life. It'll change everything inside of you. We're judged in this world on the outside in. The problem is, it's the inside out is how we behave. And so we get to change our insides when we come to Family Reunion with like-minded people, with common goals, wanting to take over the world and put a flag in the ground and say, this is it. The world's going to know who we are. That's right. So that comes up July 18th to the 21st. We got the Alaskan cruise, by the way. You can still win that. Oh, yeah. And everybody's invited. Everybody has an opportunity and can be invited to win this thing. All you got to do is put your head down and work, and these two gentlemen are about to show us exactly what that means, okay? But I want you on these trips. Melody, I want you on these trips because we're going to change the world together. Floating. I can't wait to float on a ship. Right? And Terry and I are going to be in a pool, and we're going to look at glaciers. Oh, that's crazy right there. That's going to be freaky. We're going to be like, man, I'm awfully warm. You warm? I'm warm. You warm? Is that a glacier? Yeah, baby. But we could be like, well, you don't do that. Who does it? We do that. Yeah, hanging out in the pool in the warm. Ooh, this feels good. Get you a cocktail or something like that. We have some fun up in here. All right, and there's a cold glacier right there, just right there. Anyhow, that's Alaska. Everybody's invited to that. Alliance Leadership Academy, Houston, Texas, April 24th through the 27th. Yeah. The feedback we're getting from these things is ridiculous. Yeah. From the Burlington to the Florida one to the Texas one that just happened. Oh, dear Lord. It's amazing what's happening over these 3 days. But Houston, Texas is April 24th through the 27th. Jacksonville, Florida, June 6th through June 8th. And then in Burlington, back here in Burlington, North Carolina, y'all's hometown, y'all's home base, right? The house. June 12th through June 14th. Okay, you do not want to miss these events. Albright boot camps that are coming up. Albright's actually doing boot camps in the following cities. April 22nd, he'll be in San Antonio. Oh, my dear Lord. April 23rd, he's going to be in Duluth. April 24th, he'll be in Lakeland. And then April 25th, he's going to be in Fort Lauderdale. Boom, 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 boom. You with me? Man's working. May 20th through the 23rd, he's going to be in Las Vegas, then Seattle, then Salt Lake, then Los Angeles. Okay? My man's got the gas pedal nailed all the way down and going all out. I see some people get one paycheck and take the gas off. My man buys a Ferrari, he puts it down a little harder, you know? I got to get me a Lamborghini to be parked beside the Ferrari. Right? All right. And so those are the days. All right. Broken and under construction. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you something about Andy Albright. When he don't see results, he works harder. If you want to know the difference between you and him, that's a huge one right there. When most people don't see results, what they do is they blame. They blame. They find fault. They find fault the way it could be or shouldn't be, right? But what Andy does, and I'm urging everybody in here to do from here on out, Mia, is to put the pedal down harder, right? Go, give it all you got at that moment, right? Because it works. Yeah. It works. That's the difference in the large leaders with the Alliance versus the ones that aren't barely making it. They stop and want to analyze what did or did not happen. Right. Whereas a leader, like our leader, that we're blessed with Andy Albright, he don't see results. It don't bug him. It don't bug him. He's the guy that you want when your football team's down. He's the quarterback that you want trotting onto the football field like, everybody calm down, we got this.
We got this. Yeah, that's right.
Relax, you know? And you just take a breath of fresh air like, we're going to be all right. Look at him, look at him, look at him, right? Because when the results aren't there, that's when he gets gooder, right? That's when we got to get gooder, is when we don't see the results.
That's right.
And this man I'm going to bring up right now explains that's what he does. When he doesn't see results, he puts his head down and he fights harder, right? And I don't, guys, Brian, I don't know why I've been so blessed to find such incredible people in my life. Maybe it's because I speak it all the time. Maybe I spoke Dr. Phil into my life before he ever got here. I don't know, right? But I've always wanted these types of relationships, these types of friendships. We are rich in relationships. We are rich in money. We are rich in it all. We're rich in that we get to take trips and cruise around the world together, right? We got it all. But right now, but Dr. Phil, when he came to me, I knew there was something special about him. He just seemed to kind of, Stephanie, just stay calm and cool. He was that quarterback that I wanted on my team. He was that guy when things got tough, he just stayed cool, right? But let me tell you something. Don't ever forget this. Melody, we talked about this morning at breakfast. He was broken, right? And he's still fighting and struggling. He's still going through battles. But he's like that Andy Albright leader. When he don't see results and he gets tough, he just goes a little faster.
That's right.
Please help me welcome my dear friend, Dr. Phil Abear.
Ooh, Alliance, baby. Yeah. Ooh, I just want to do that right there. Yeah, that makes me feel better. You too.
Get you some.
Yeah. So, first of all, Andy Albright, Jane Albright, thank you for what you guys have done. This is not something easy to put together. Where we're at this point in this business, we can step in and have fast success. So, thank you guys for what y'all have done over the last 18 years of the sweat and the tears. Sometimes I want to say blood in there, right? The blood, sweat, and tears. I'm sure there was some blood that happened at certain points. But thank you for what you guys have done. I don't take this lightly to stand right here where previous leaders have stood. I'm grateful for this opportunity, right? I'm grateful to be standing next to these men right here. It's about 2 minutes in and I'm about to cry, right? He said I was broken when I got in this business. That's no joke, right? On the outside, it didn't look that way, right? So nobody thought anything was happening. People close to me tell me, man, I never knew you went through all that, right? I needed them in my life, right? I needed them. He talked about quarterbacks. Paul Roberts and Jeremy Patton are the type of quarterbacks I'll go to battle with, right? From the day one, they won my heart. Growing up playing football, you know, you have some star athletes that kind of just sit on the sideline and only practice when they want to practice. They only want to get in the game when the coach pull me out, right? Not these guys. Paul Roberts making the kind of money he makes, Jeremy Patton making the kind of money he makes, they're still in the battle. They still, in my mind, do the bear crawls across the logs with us. They do the two-a-days, right? There's no reason he should be sharing a room with anybody, but we still travel the road and share rooms, and we're in the fight together, right? Where do they get it from? They get it from, they know how to be great leaders, but they also know how to be great followers, right? They know that from day one, I needed clarity in this business. And the way they led themselves showed me like how to, although I was going through all that mess, showed me how to like forget it for short periods of time.
That's good. That's good, Doc.
And the reason they were able to do that is because they were following Andy Albright. There was never any doubt in my mind who they were following, right? And that takes a strong person, a strong man, a strong woman to be able to do that, right? To be able to set your ego aside and know this business is not about me, right? What makes the Alliance special is Terry and T. Edwards, is
Amen.
Mia, is like a boss, right?
Amen.
That's right.
But at the same time, those type of people know that it's not about them, right? And that's who these people are to me, right? day one, it's always been Andy Albright and Tim Goad. I've never questioned who we're following. Andy Albright and Tim Goad. So think about that in your business. Is there clarity with your team, right? Are you speaking the right words? Because we never know who's going to walk through the door. We're in a type of business where one person will explode, right? And if you have clarity amongst yourself, it makes the whole team around you better.
That's right.
And that's what these guys did to me. I was a complete disaster. Growing up, I was okay, right? I did all the stuff I was supposed to do. I did the normal going to school, graduated high school, went off to college, got a couple degrees, and got a job. Right? Nothing really tragic happened to me as a kid. I just never got caught for stuff I wasn't supposed to do, right? I'm sure Mom and Dad, you're watching. That wasn't me who trashed the house next to us, right? It wasn't me, right? So I did everything else they told me to do, right? I know no different. I went off to college. Got the corporate job. I climbed the corporate ladder because I had to. I never enjoyed it, but I played their game because I had to, right? I didn't know anything else. But at some point in time, I started thinking differently. I said, there's got to be something else in life other than this, other than what I'm doing every day. I'm not meant for a cubicle farm, right? I'm not meant to come to this job, work 8 hours for somebody else. I'm meant for something bigger, right? I said this last night in Greensboro that growing up as a kid, we dream, right? But at a certain point, that dream got sucked away from me. Really, when I got in the corporate world, I became the robot, right? Just show up to work, do all that kind of stuff. When I found this place, the dream started happening again. Not only for me, but for my son as well, my 12-year-old, right? He sent me he sent me a picture the other day. He said, Dad, I want this car. I said, all right, cool, what is it? I was thinking maybe a Mustang or something. He said a Ferrari 250 GT, something like that. I said, all right, cool, let's do it. How much? I said, what's it cost? He said, $48.6 million. In my mind, I was like, well, I need to price check that. But I don't think that's accurate. But right, he's dreaming. And because what Andy Albright has built for us, that's never going to be sucked away from him. Right? He's going to have a life where he can dream no matter what, because he sees what we're doing here in this place. He sees the life that we're living. He sees how they live and they conduct themselves. He sees Andy Albright. So that right there is a difference maker for me, okay? But when I came into this business, so I did the corporate thing because I had to. I played their game, right? And then sometimes I believe in myself so much that I'll jump into things with no game plan just because I think I can do it, right? Well, that's what happened to me is I jumped into opening an own business of mine, right? And quickly that crashed. Quickly I was in a position when I got introduced to this place, this family, I was losing my car, right? I was, like, I didn't know how I was going to, like, keep the roof over my son's head. Daddy, you're always broke, is what I heard at that time. I just didn't, I was scared, I was stressed, I was thinking how I did everything I was supposed to do. How did I get myself back in this spot? How did I get myself in a position where I didn't know what was going to happen tomorrow, right? I didn't know if I was going to be homeless or have a roof over my head, right? That's how I was feeling when I got into this place. And because they lived their life the right way, I knew I was in the right place with the right people at the right time, okay? I knew, like he said, all I had to do was keep my head down and work. Don't look up until you have a victory. And then when you have a victory, put your head back down and work, right? When this man hit EVP, the next day he was planning a road trip to get back out there in the field and work, right? So we all go through obstacles in life, but you can't make that obstacle bigger than our mission, right? Our mission is have fun, make money, make a difference. prosperity, inspiration, eternity, right?
That's right.
Pi, baby. That's our mission. So although I was going through all those tragedies, right, those crises, I never made that bigger than the mission ahead of me because I knew we were in something special, right? I knew that I only have one time to do this right, okay? Everybody, I think, would agree that what Andy Albright has created is something special, right?
Yep.
But if we don't take advantage of it right now,
Right now.
it's going to bypass us, right? And a lot of taking advantage of it is clearing the obstacles from our life, right? I could have easily, nobody knew my car got stolen, right? Nobody knew. Nobody knew didn't know if I was going to pay my rent next month. Nobody knew that I didn't know how I was going to feed my son, right? There was like times I would sit upstairs and just cry. And I'm like, man, this ain't how life is supposed to be, right? But I never let that get in the way, okay? I never let that get in the way of climbing up the levels, getting to the next level in this business, fighting for my team, fighting for somebody else, right? I think a lot of us have obstacles in life, and they let that interfere with what we're really supposed to do. They let that interfere with our mission, okay? Yeah, I had some obstacles, but I knew it was temporary because I was following the right people.
Right.
That was going to make me a stronger person in the future is what I kept speaking to myself. The words that we speak to ourselves when we're going through tough times is really what gets us to the next point, okay? Being around the right people to learn what words to speak to yourself helps you live your life the right way. I remember, so many things that happened to me. I had one of those cell phones where I had to pay monthly. I still have that, by the way, to remind myself of what could happen if I don't keep my head down and work. For a longest time, it had a cracked screen on it. I'd feel embarrassed pulling it out in front of a customer. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to pay the $50 to pay, keep it on for the next month. I'd lose service for a few days. Somebody say, "Oh, I tried to get a hold of you." Oh man, shoot, I don't know what's wrong with that service plan, right? Must be Sprint. There were times where, like, he would tell me to drive 6 hours to go run business, and I never questioned it, even when I didn't have a car, right? How am I going to go run 6 hours, go drive 6 hours to go run business without a stinking car, right? I just made it happen, right? I would sleep in my car when I'd go run business because I didn't want to pay the extra $40 to stay in a hotel. The bus ride down to McAllen, where we got G-Shock off the ground, right? Getting on the bus in 13 hours one way, right? A lot of people would let that stop them. But he told me, he said, the next person who gets down there is going to be a millionaire. And I said, I had the childlike faith. I said, really? He said, yeah. All right, let's go. Right? I met him down there. I had to have agents drive me around for appointments, and they had no clue what I was going through. Right? Because I never spoke those negative things into their life. Right? There's some people that just, they want to talk about everything negative happening in their life, right? The difference between people like these guys and Andy Albright is they don't do that. They all go through mess. I went to a place 4.5 hours away one time to go run business with an agent. I got up there, but I didn't have enough on the credit card to get back. Right? She never knew. right? She has such a huge heart, and she was so fired up about where we're headed. She knew there was a bigger vision, a bigger dream we're going to. We drove back, and all we did was dream build. We talked about what we're going to take over, how we're going to start in Texas, and go to Oklahoma, go to New Mexico, take over the nation, baby, right? The reason I'm saying all this stuff is not to feel sorry for me. It's we're all going through mess. Don't worry about it. It's temporary if you keep your head down and work. It will be permanent if you don't do that, right? It'll keep dragging on with you if you don't get a plan in place and keep thinking about what the next thing you're going to overcome, right? Because when Paul Roberts hit EVP, it's not like problems stopped for him, right? When Andy Albright bought his new plane, it's not like problems stopped for him, right? It just, he was able to deal with obstacles that would pop up, and he would turn them into opportunities, right? If you read his book, it'll talk about that. It's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. Amen. Okay, so stop thinking this is like the end of the world and start thinking, this is going to propel me to the next level. That's right. This is going to help me build a massive team and be able to handle these kind of problems for people coming on board with me, right? Because I'm still dealing with mess, right? I think a lot of you know that my prize, what I value the most is my 12-year-old son, right? It breaks my heart to see that he has to watch his mother. He has to grow up watching his mother fight depression and be an alcoholic, right? That kind of stuff, it's not for, I hate it for him, right? I know she's going through a battle. She'll overcome it one day. But what that does is that brings up issues that him and I have to deal with on a daily basis, right? That brings up more obstacles, right? Just because we got to the next level on the agency manager doesn't mean obstacles stop, right? So I have to deal with this kind of stuff. I want to be careful. I'm sure one day he'll watch this, but a couple months ago she got arrested for a DWI. All right, and he found out about this. And, oh man, a lot of people would use that as an excuse to miss a dial session, to miss a hot spot, to not go run business, right? Nobody on my team knew about that kind of stuff. Nobody knew. The only person that knew was Paul, is because I felt I needed to tell him just in case I had, you know, maybe I was a couple minutes late for something, right? He's the only person that knew about it. I strongly felt that I could have told people, but I didn't need to, right? Because I still had to wake up the next day for Jake. I still had to wake up the next day and take the phone call from G-Shock. I still had to take a phone call from Eric Cruz. I still had to get the new guy on our team named Juan down in East Texas in the car and go run business with him, right? I couldn't let my obstacles get in the way of their dreams because they're building something special. It's not about me, right? It's about the mission that we're on, okay? Don't let anything interfere in life with that. We're on a path right now of something, I guarantee you this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, okay? Right now we're worried about packing out 1,000 people or 2,000 people in our conference room. Right. Okay, I guarantee you it's going to be 25,000 people in the near future. That's right. Okay? And I want to look up and say, I did that. I was part of that. That's right. Right? That's what? I was part of taking Andy Albright to $1 billion. That's right. Yeah, you okay? Are. Yeah, you are. And I got to keep fighting for my dreams. I can't let anything get in the way. I can't let issues get in my way of getting to that level, okay? I got to keep moving forward. And I beg you, whatever you're going through right now, just know it's temporary as long as you're speaking the right words, as long as you're around the right people, you're showing up, you're keeping your head down and you're working. Man, this is We don't get this kind of lifestyle anywhere else, right? We don't get to do what we do here in the Alliance anywhere else. What's the alternative? Having a job, okay? You don't get Andy, Tim Goad, Jeff Bright, those kind of people in our life at a job. Don't take advantage of this situation, of this opportunity. Don't be one of those people that look back and say, man, I wish I would have done better, right? He said go all in. Like, go all in. Like, be honest with yourself. Amen. Only you are going to be honest with yourself and say, am I truly going all in? Amen. Right? There's times in my life that I say, I could have done more, right? Even though I put my head down on the pillow sometimes and I say, man, I should have called that person. I should have taken that call, right? I still think I should have done more, right? So keep going all in, fighting for the dream that Andy has fought for us, okay? Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You're next?
I'm next.
All right.
Love you, man. Incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people say, I want a Dr. Phil on my team. Let me tell you what it's like to have a Dr. Phil on your team. You wake up every morning scared. Scared because I got to grow. That man's good. He's solid. You know what I'm saying? He makes me better. It's not my time to relax and say, ooh, look what I did. And by the way, I didn't do anything. I just introduced him to the opportunity, right? And then I worked, right? So be careful what you wish for, because someone like that, Dalton, make you scared, make you get out of bed early every day, make you get out and run a bunch of miles, get your heart right, get you fired up, right? Because what a blessing he is to not just my life and Tamara's life and my kid's life, but what a blessing he is to his son's life, Jake. I love him so much because I had a father that did not take care of me. He left. And here is a single father right now. He actually has complete custody, does everything on his own. And wow. Wow. I hope that you're blessed with someone like him, but be ready, right? Be ready, because it's time to work when you find someone like him, all right? Broken and still under construction. Last night we were in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah, we were.
And I'm fired up. Come up here with your agency rings. I'm fired up that we got 3 of us here, and it's like some star-studded power, like something magical's gonna happen when he puts us out there, like, you know. And you asked me last night, Dalton, what's my next? I want 10 people on my team getting these things, right? And then right after that, I want 10 people getting that big old crazy board member ring, right? And I'm not a ring person. I do not like rings. I can't stand them. But God, I can't wait to get my board member ring. I mean, I do not like rings because they make me claustrophobic. They make me feel weird. But I'm gonna get me a board member ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me one. Just go, because I just want to go like that. I want to see if it caused. I was really going to see if it caused any superpower when we did that. Did anything happen?
It's happening.
Okay, it's happening. But I love last night watching Jeremy Patton speak to y'all. These guys aren't on my team. We're together. This isn't my team. This is people I'm doing life with. This is my journey. God blessed me with these 2 beautiful souls. God blessed me with Jeremy Patton, and we're just doing life together. They're not in my downline. I'm not the boss. You know what I'm saying? They just, God, thank you, God, for letting me do life with Jeremy Patton. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, God, for giving me someone like Jeremy Patton and letting me do life with him, because we're going to do life together. We're doing life together. I'm watching him grow every second, every minute, and I'm just so honored that y'all get to watch him speak to y'all for the next few moments to just share what he's been through. Because, Blake, I know. You better get some tissues ready, right? Because I know what he's been through to get to this battle, to put that ring on, because he wants that board member ring as well. Please help me welcome Jeremy Patton.
Thank you, Paul. Hey, Terry. Let's do that. There we go. There we go. Boom. And it is addicting. So, my goodness, so grateful to be here at the TWC. Thank you, Andy and Jane Albright. I love you. I love you, and I'm so grateful for the Alliance. And thank you, Paul Roberts. You and Tamara mean the world to me. We, all the time, we're talking about love conquers all. And there's a lot to love, right? I'm not going to go through the whole deal, but it says, like, love is patient, love is kind, doesn't keep a record of wrongs, don't boast, right? And there's a lot to love, right? And when I think about love and leading with love, because that's what's happening here at the Alliance, that's how we're going to $1 billion company. I think about broken and under construction. I'm still under construction. I'm going to go over my story here in just a little second. That's our education. And but when I think about love, I think about Andy Albright. I think about his relentless love for you and for me and for the Alliance. You look up the word relentless. I mean, he is loving. I mean, oh my gosh, it's incredible. Thank you so much. Paul and Tamara Roberts really helped save my life, you know? I mean, when you look back and you I go back in time here, when I got started with the Alliance, I was going through my life was out of control. Like, not just a little bit out of control, but for me, way out of control. I was going through a terrible divorce at the time. And when I say terrible, I mean it's just the worst form of rejection you can think of. And I was below broke. So there's a difference between being broke and below broke. I had over $200,000 in debt, and it was I take responsibility, don't feel bad. I made my own decisions. But it was that weight. It was just extreme weight on my shoulders to go through the most heartbreaking emotional devastation I've ever gone through in my life. One of my dreams was to be married and have a family, to have children. And that was like, that blew up in my face, right? And I remember going through that time. I remember at the same time, in my practice marriage, we'll just call it that. I had helped raise a stepson, and that was really important to me. And then just like that, everything was taken away. And I remember just literally knowing that the only thing I could control, thank God for Paul Roberts, thank God for having powerful, right people in my life. I just remember all I could control was my attitude and my activity and what I did. It didn't stop the heartbreak. I remember driving down the road specifically, just praying, God help me, why is this happening? And just crying. And I remember one time specifically driving down the road, and I called Paul, and I called him every once in a while. He knew what was going on, but I didn't share all the details. I'm like, bro, I think something's wrong with me. Like, I think I'm having a heart attack or something. Like, I felt like I was having an asthma attack, except I don't have asthma. And he's like, bro, it's just anxiety. And I was going through this extreme anxiety, just I was scared, and I didn't know what to do. It's just like the dream and what I thought would be just came crashing down right in front of me. And I just broken. And I remember, financially, I didn't have a place to live at the time. So they said, hey, they got to keep the house, right? So I did the manly thing and stopped paying for it. I didn't have the money to pay for it anyway, okay? And I remember, thank God Paul was just like, man, just come down. At the time I lived up in Kansas. He said, just come down. He was worried about me. Just come down. It'll all work out. It'll be okay. He was always speaking hope, speaking future, speaking life into me in my hardest time. Just don't ever underestimate the power of words, the power of the words that you're using, not only with other people, very important, but also the power of the words that you're using with yourself. The words that you speak will affect somebody for decades. And he's always spoken life into me. He's loved me well, him and Tamara Roberts. I remember driving down, staying at his place during the hardest time of their life. They're reaching down and giving all they have to help me. I'm like, holy cow, what's going on? And I just remember, like, thank you, God. And I was praying for something different. I needed something different. And he's like, dude, come on down. And then that's when I met the Alliance. That's when I started with the Alliance. And I knew I needed to change. I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to start. And what I love about Paul is he's never judged me. He's never had an opinion of what was going on in my life. I've never doubted that he had my back. I never doubted that he loved me well. Make sense? And in those times, you're just every part of you, I'm just questioning myself and who I am, and just the being rejected and trying to figure out life, right? I remember financially, my bill pay system at the time was pretty interesting. I remember just all I could pay for it. You know, when you're about just not quite 90 days late on your cell phone bill, they won't shut it off. That's where I was. And I paid my car payment. Those are two really important things. And I just remember Paul just saying, just keep moving forward, keep believing in where you're going to be. And I remember, so obstacles, here's the thing I've learned in life, because that was the hardest part of my life. There's been many other obstacles. But what I've learned is the life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. You get better. There's a story, and I love this story because I can relate to it personally, and hopefully you will be too. But like in thunderstorms, cows actually run away from the storm. And they're in the storm a lot longer. And so buffaloes, on the other hand, they run right into the storm. It's more intense. The battle's way tougher. They're going to get beat up, but they'll get through the storm a lot faster. And I've always, thank God for leaders like Philip Abear, Paul Roberts, Andy Albright, just, gosh, like having that community and other leaders and seeing them do the same thing. How can I not? Seeing what Andy Albright's created here at the Alliance, seeing how he's overcome so much. All I needed to see was, at the time, my buddy Paul Roberts. He was overcoming. He was moving forward. And for me, leaders give people two things, an example and an opportunity. And I've heard that now, and going back in time, I was like, well, I'm just going to do what Paul does. He said it's going to be okay, and I'm just going to go. And in the midst of that storm of life, where life was way out of control, there are days I didn't know where I was going to live, where I was going to sleep. I didn't know how. I figured. I've always eaten pretty good. That's always worked out okay, right? But I wasn't worried about all that stuff. I was focused on how great it was going to be. Like I've always held on to a promise that says, no matter how bad it is, it says, don't be weary in doing good, but at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you don't give up. That's right. And it's true. And I've held on to that promise. And I remember just many a time, I remember Paul Roberts just like, bro, it's all going to work out. I said, where do I need to go? He said, there's a lot of stuff, good stuff going on in St. Louis. I said, I'm going to go there. Okay, keep in mind, you heard about my budget plan back in the day. Everything went in a box except my car payment and my cell phone bill, right? And I'm in the car. I booked I think it was 21 appointments. And I lived in Wichita, Kansas. It's 6 hours one way from Wichita, if you're driving 75, 80. And I remember like it was my first trip. It was my first trip there. And I was committed. I just knew I believed if I keep moving through the storm, sooner or later it's going to get better, right? And I know I'm just going to get better and I'm going to get through the storm. And I did. And just for 32 weeks in a row, I went to St. Louis and back to run business. 12 hours round trip. And I remember the first trip specifically, I'm excited because I had hope. Like, I had 21 appointments, right? And I remember Paul called me up. He's like, okay, cool, man. You got 21 appointments. And this is before actually texting. To give you a little perspective, right? And I had a flip phone back in the day. So, and I remember him calling me up, and he's saying, hey, where are you going to stay? I was like, I don't know, but I'm going. Like, I wasn't even worried about that. I wasn't focused on the little stuff. I was just focused on, I just knew I needed to go because I believed if I went, good things would happen. And as I look back on that, and I was listening, I was actually just reading some stuff, and I heard it said, and I believe it, it's not in the knowing what to do that the miracles happen. It's in doing what you know you need to do that the miracles happen. And knowing what I know now, the blessings that have come about through overcoming, it's because of that. And it's not necessarily about, necessarily that what I've learned, thankfully for Andy Albright and Paul Roberts, is that there's that fruit, there's that vision and that dream that I believe that God put on everybody's heart, I believe. And it's a clear picture. And it's going to change over time, but it's going to take some refining, and there's a process to make sure that we're right, to be able to actually handle that dream. And the biggest part I've learned from that, from watching Paul Roberts, watching him as the incredible leader that he is, watching Andy Albright, the incredible leader that he is, grow and change in that process, is to change those fruits, you got to change the roots. And it was more, and it has been a process, and it continually is a process of becoming what God's called me to be, about you becoming what God's called you to be, the incredible, powerful, and loving leader that you are. And here at the Alliance, gosh, what I'm most passionate about is paying it forward. What I'm most passionate about, somebody asked me last night what my dreams are, and I have dreams, and it's so awesome seeing now, like, kind of we've stepped through the storm, right? But there's still storms. As the tree gets taller, the wind gets stronger. Make sense? The taller you get, the bigger you go, the bigger the battles, but you're stronger and you're able to handle it, right? And what I love about that analogy is as I read these things, I see things differently, and I see what Paul Roberts has been through. I've seen a life changed. I've seen the legacy changed because he's best friends with Andy Albright, because he's best friends and has a spiritual father in Tim Goad. And he's not the only one, right? And it's so fulfilling to see lives change. And going through that storm where I thought, the dream of having a family and things like that, and things are great. I mean, we kind of come through that. And I've met my wife, Amy, a little over 11 years ago. We've been married, and we've got 2 children. Dreams come true. Brady's 4. My daughter, Tyler Grace, is 9. And it's amazing. And it's amazing and an awesome responsibility having children and building a brand new home and being able to have those things. But it's not about us. Make sense? It's about enjoying it, but also inspiring other people and seeing lives change right in front of your eyes. Seeing people come into our hot spots, people come into our office that are broken and jacked up just like I was and am. No, it's not. I'm not completed, okay? And just to see them open up and to see their lives change and to see that here at the Alliance you can belong before you behave. And what we mean by that is, hey, we're all jacked up. And you just stick around and get around the right people long enough. Get around Andy Albright. Get around Paul Roberts. Get around Tim Goad. You're going to change. And you're going to help other people change. And I'm just incredibly grateful. Paul Roberts is he's a difference maker, a world changer. And he's changed my life and my legacy forever and ever. And I'm grateful for you, Paul.
This was big. He said this last night, but Tim Goad called you the other day, and he said, "How you doing, buddy?" How'd you answer that?
Yeah, he called me. This is probably about a month ago, and I said, "I'm incredible. I have the most peace and power at the same time. I've stepped into my calling. I've stepped into my calling, and it's hard to explain. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's not about me. It's awesome." And he talked to me, and he called me back later just to chat through that, and what that means. And it's an awesome responsibility. And it's scary in a fun way. It's ultimately letting go of the old way of trying to control everything, just letting go and just really embracing God's greater plan. And it's incredible. And the lens I look through now is stewardship. Like Andy Albright's given me the most amazing opportunity here at the Alliance. The resources, finances being part of it, the people, the powerful right relationships. Right. So the lens I look for is, how can I steward this well today? How can I be the best steward? And ultimately, how can I be, and I believe the biggest responsibility in being blessed is to also go and be a blessing to other people. And it's unbelievable. Yeah. It's unbelievable. So thank you, Paul. I love you.
Yeah, love you too. Jeremy's the most optimistic person in the world, and he has a tough time talking about the tough times. But I'm telling you, those trips that he took back for 32 weeks in a row, 6 hours one way, 6 hours back, talking to him on the phone, him crying, him breaking down, him not knowing if his marriage was going to last, was going to keep going. He wasn't sure. Then when he was certain it was over, and just kept driving back and forth, driving back and forth, driving back and forth. He was the #1 Foresters producer. He actually got invited to go to the Foresters headquarters because that's right when Foresters came on board with us. He came in first place in a competition. He didn't even know. He didn't know there was a competition going on. And he just kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. #1 in all of the alliance. Going through the horriblest, worst time of his life. Anxiety, panic, uncertainty, just so much garbage. And I remember him calling me and saying, man, because the moment I met this man, I knew he was destined to be an incredible father. That was his mission in life. That was his goal. Whether he knew it or not, you could just see it in him. That's what his deal was. And he felt that was all slipping away. He said he would say things to me like, "I'm getting too old. The clock is ticking. When am I going to be able to have kids? I got to meet someone, and then I got to get married, and then I got to do this, and you know what I'm saying?" And then he would say this, "Just forget it. Just forget it." I said, "No, we ain't forgetting nothing. There's a woman out there, and Jeremy Patton's name is tattooed to her heart. We just don't know who it is yet." And then he kept repeating that. He kept saying that. He goes, "There's a woman out there. My name is tattooed to her heart. And we're going to be together. And we're going to have children." And now he's got children. And I'm watching him be an incredible father. And I'm watching him send me cool pictures of Brady playing T-ball. But he don't like T-ball because he wants to hit it coming at him. And then, yeah, he don't like the fact they don't. Cool, man. That is what's up. And watching Tyler Grace at the age of 9 talk to you like she's 22. The emotional maturity that this young lady has is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And wow. But he went through the battle, and that's why he's reaping the rewards right now, cuz. That's why right now, I don't know if y'all caught that, but he had a house built. Him and Amy had a house built. And I remember Amy said, "Hey, I want y'all to come over to the house before they put up the sheetrock, because I want y'all to write something on the 2x4s or whatever you call the wood that's inside the frame." She goes, "I want you to write on the frame whatever you want to write. Just bless our house." We went from him driving back and forth, not knowing where he was sleeping, to now Amy, who we didn't know it was Amy back then, but we knew she was coming, right? Ask us to come over and write on the walls, the inside of the interior of the home, and bless the home. Man, he could have quit. He could have given up on his dreams of being a father. He could have quit. I need to back up. He was also built and meant to be an incredible husband. I need to put that in there. And he could have given up on that dream. He could have given up on that goal. But something just kept him going, and kept him going, and kept him going, and kept him going. You know what I'm saying? That's what leaders do.
That's right.
When there's no results, that's when they keep going.
That's right.
And we watch it in sports all the time, right? But God, what a blessing. And to hear him say that he's found his calling. Dear Lord. Thank God I didn't quit to hear that. Because he wasn't quitting. He wasn't going to quit. Phil ain't quitting. Thank God I hadn't quit to see all this. Don't quit. You might miss something. And let me back up. I wish we could strike that from the record. Don't quit, because you are going to miss something. You are going to miss something. You don't want to miss that, Blake, having those two men be my men in my life that just build me up and make me stronger. You don't want to miss this, right? You don't want to miss this, Mia, because you will if you quit. I woke up this morning all excited and giddy. We didn't care that Phil was sleeping. Me and Jeremy just started talking. Welcome, Phil. Jeremy and I have been doing this for 20 years. But I woke up and I was giddy and I was excited and I started thinking of all this stuff about being broken, being under construction. And I even told Jeremy and Phil, well, Phil had to hear it because he was waking up. I said, I got so much I want to talk about. There's so many things going on. And I kind of ran a few things by you. And you said, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. I said, I'm going to go for my run. And so I go for my run. I said, I'm going to run 5 miles. I'll be right back. And so I go out and do my run. And I go out and do my run. And I'm kind of lost. I'm out there just kind of in my head, talking to myself and going through all my stuff. But there's a phenomenon that goes on before a runner before they run a marathon. They start finding things wrong with them. Literally, I will start finding like, oh my gosh, this hurts. And Tamara's been with me for a long time. She goes, no, it doesn't. You think it hurts, but it doesn't. I'm like, no, it hurts. I'm telling you right now, I got to stretch this out, And every time I go run, everything's fine. I'm like, hey, it didn't hurt. And she's like, told you it didn't hurt. Well, here lately, I've even been saying out loud, my left knee's giving me problems. My left knee never gives me problems. It's always been my right knee. My right knee's always giving me a little bit of problem. My left knee never does. But I've been talking about my left knee, haven't I? And so I was like, ah. So I went and ran my 5 miles this morning. While I'm out there, you can tell that I ran a little bit more than 5 miles this morning. I ran 7.54, right? Here's what happened. I don't know if I can draw on this, but right here, you might be able to see I'm a little lost. Thank you. I'm not supposed to be over here. Yeah, I knew that. I'm treating y'all like I do my wife. No, we all hush up, man. I'm talking to a bunch of people. Y'all leave me alone. But right here, I got a little lost. And because I'm supposed to be turning back, and here's the hotel right here. This is Hampton Inn. And I'm supposed to go up, here's Long Pine right here. I'm supposed to go here and cruise through this little, doop. That's what I was supposed to do, right there, right? And that'd give me about my 5. And all of a sudden, boy, you can see I'm lost. Zigzag. Wrong way, back this way. And finally I break down and say, you know what, I think because I don't carry my phone with me, I use this right here, and I click on it to see where I'm at, because I'm like, I'm lost. And I'm able to figure out how to use the GPS on this watch, and I put in the Hampton Inn, and it says 2.1 miles away. Yeah. And now I'm like really upset. I'm like, oh God, because I have breakfast plans that I have scheduled with Melody and Brian, and I got to get back. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing a TWC. So panic and anxiety started sitting in. I started freaking out massively, right? And I was like, okay, I can't call my men because we ain't got a car. They can't come get me. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, I said, well, I better go. I literally ran the last 2.5 miles faster than I did all the other 4, or 5, yeah. 5, and knee didn't hurt, nothing hurt. Felt amazing. See, the anxiety and the worry and the uncertainty, oh my God, am I going to make it? Can I get back in time? Oh my God, where am I? I knew when I saw the Ramada Inn, I was like, I should not be anywhere near the Ramada Inn. You know what I'm saying? And so I got back as quick as I could. So 2.54 miles were my fastest ones. I actually showed you my times. I said, look, that was my fastest time. No pain. No pain. Why am I telling you this? Because, and this is what I told them too. I said, see, it's when you have that anxiety and that uncertainty and you're scared, you're meant to go through that. You're meant to go through that. I am meant to question myself and say, can I run this marathon on April 28th? I'm meant to question it. I'm meant to go through the anxiety. You know why? Because the victory is sweet. But the victory ain't sweet if you don't go through a struggle. There's no victory involved at all, as a matter of fact. If I'd have just gotten up willy-nilly and ran 7.5 miles a day, there'd be no victory. Right? We got to challenge ourselves. See, at some point in being out there, Chris, I had to negotiate with myself. I had to negotiate with the pain. I had to negotiate with the fear. I had to negotiate with the anxiety. Okay. A lot of y'all are going through that right now. You need to negotiate with the fear you're going through, the anxiety you're going through. And you need to do like Andy Albright and say, no, I'm moving forward. I'm pressing on harder. I'm going to go faster. You got to negotiate with this stuff. Who's going to win the negotiations? You or the fears? You got to make that decision. And so I was like, I was talking 90 miles a minute when I got back to the hotel. I don't think they even paid attention to me. I was like, oh my God, I was out there and I didn't know where I was. I looked up and I was out there. This is what I'm going to talk about today because I need to talk about this today. I'm just going to add it in. I'm going to talk about other things, but then I'm going to add this in. And they were like, okay, good, right on. Because I was excited. We're laughing, but pay attention to me. It was my victory. It was my victory. Right? What I'm trying to say to you is quit trying to do stuff for other people. Go out and get your own victory. Do it for yourself. Do it for you. I don't try to impress Andy Albright. I want to earn his respect. I want him to love me. But I don't try to say things to impress him. I want to become senior board member, right? To say, hey, what Andy Albright said was true. It's true. We can get to senior board member on Love Conquers All. We can get there on Love Conquers All. Right? So I just wanted to add that in there today. It's just amazing, Nick, the anxiety that hit me thinking, oh dear Lord, where am I? Right? And I was on, Tamara's watching, she can be mad at me. I was on country roads I shouldn't have been on because cars were getting too close to me. You know what I'm saying? Now she's having a lot of anxiety right now because I know she's watching right now, right? Broken and under construction. I love what Phil says. He's still going through the struggle. You know, he was the top annuity producer last year. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He did win Paris. He did become agency manager. He's having victory after victory after victory, but he's still going through the battle. Because I remember a couple weeks ago when he called me, I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He said, "Hey, so and so, you know, she got a DUI. I need to be here for Jake." It's cool, no problem. And it's like he's going through the battle. But I can tell he's like, you know what? We don't need to talk about it. I need to win. I need to win bigger and more than ever for Jake than ever before. And a lot of other people, what they do is they put on the brakes and they go, well, you know, I need to do this, I need to do that. He goes, no, now's my time. Now's the time. I got to win this game more than ever before for Jake, right? And the same thing going on with Jeremy. His life ain't done. It ain't like there's still battles coming his way, right? I love his team. I love watching his team get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, how you doing? He goes, dude, I'm just being nice to people. I said, tell me your strategy, Mr. Patton. You know, I'm going to sit down. I want to get my pen and pad out. Mr. Patton, tell me your strategy and how you making a bunch of money. He goes, I'm just being nice to people. I said, that's it? He goes, yeah. I'm being nice to them. I'm encouraging them. I'm telling them I love them. I tell them they're great. I tell them I believe in them. I tell them they can do it. We have to hear this. And he says it even when he's going through the garbage. Someone said to me the other day, well, I'm not going to go to the meeting because I can't pour into people. That's when you need to pour into people. Because then you forget about your pain. That's when your pain goes away. Because when you give to somebody else, when you look at someone and you say, and you can tell they're having a bad day and say, I believe in you. It does something to you. It does something to you. It changes you inside massively, right? But we're all going through battles. We did get the pool put in, and I'm fired. Yeah, I'm fired up about that. Yeah, it's exciting. And I remember when we went pool shopping. How cool is that? Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of remembering, you know, when we would go to the bank and we would like didn't want to go in there because we knew we owed them money, right? And now we go into the bank and they're like, hey, Mrs. Roberts, how's Paul's Corvette? You know, because I went and got the cashier check from them and took it to the place to pay for it, right? Yeah.
What a cashier's check.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they were there. Oh, and then they ask about the house all the time. How's the house coming along? Because I had to go get a cashier's check at the bank. Yeah.
For the house?
No. We put down $90,000, And I remember going in there and getting the $90,000 out, and I wanted my daughter to be there and my wife, and I just kind of wanted to show them, get 90 grand out. And the lady at the teller, she goes, "Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Roberts?" And I said, "If you could somehow put 90 grand back in my bank account." And she goes, "You're going to have to give me the check back." I said, "It's not going to work, because I'm going to buy a house today." And that's exciting because we lost our last house. Forced out of our last house. Forced to move out. The house that Tamara built. She built that house that we lost. That we are forced out of, right? She picked the color of the paint. She picked everything in that house. We imagined where the pool was going to be. We saw the pool there. Never happened. Never happened. But then, and I told her, I said, "Here's what we're going to do, baby doll. We're going to sign the paperwork on the new house. We're going to take the Corvette. We're going to go buy the old house that we lost." And here's why I'm telling y'all this. We went by that old house and we felt love. That's actually the house I got sober in. We felt love. But we also realized we were holding on to something that wasn't as big as we thought it was. We looked at that house and Tamara was like going, "Was it always that small?" I looked at it, I said, "I think so." But it don't look that big, does it? And that's because that house, the house we're in now, is 2 times the size of that house. The house that we thought life was over. We couldn't do no more. I can't possibly give any more. I never said those words, but people said that to me, so I'm reenacting some other people. I'll give and I give and I give and I can't give no more. Yeah, you can, because you're going to walk away from that stuff that you think is great, and you're going to be more successful, and you're going to walk back and go, "I was worried about that.
Right. Come on.
That's what I was worried about.
All right.
Dear Lord." And so we drove by in the vet, and I kind of wanted the neighbors to see us, let them.
Top down.
Oh, top was down.
Top down.
Top down. And that Z06 is loud. You can't get sneaky with that thing, man. You can't. There's nothing you can do about that. In fact, Gina Hawk stayed at our new house. She stayed in our new house, and the Corvette has its own garage. It's literally one garage, and the vet fits in there perfectly. And I told Gina, I said, "Hey, tomorrow morning I'm waking up early, and I'm going to take the vet." The only challenge with that, is her room that she's sleeping in is right above the vet. And this house is built beautifully. I said, but it doesn't matter. Once you crank that sucker on, like if you turn your car on and don't return the favor, you might want to get a new car. Yeah. And so and she says this to me, I'm a deep sleeper, don't worry about it. So later that day, Chris, she came up to the office and I said, "So to wake up?" She said, "Oh God, yes, it woke me up." I thought I was in Florida, a hurricane was coming through or something. Why am I talking about this? Oh yeah, the neighbors. So I wanted the neighbors to hear us. But I don't think they saw us. But that wasn't the real reason we went by there. But what was amazing, Dalton, is that we got to go by there and realize we were holding on to something we didn't have to hold on to. And you're probably holding on to something right now that if you just let go, you're going to be blessed with more. Okay? And so we go through that. We get the house. We get the pool. And I remember when we were shopping for the pool, I wanted the pool to be cool. And I remember when we were shopping for it, the lady said to us, now if you turn on the waterfalls, the hot tub can't be on at the same time. They're two different. It's the same machine. I said, "Is there any way we can make two?" She goes, "Yeah, most people don't do it. It's a lot of extra money." I said, "No, I want my waterfalls to run. I want my hot tub to run. I don't want to be sitting in my hot tub and waterfalls ain't running."
Right.
I didn't get my house foreclosed on for no reason. We gonna do this right, right? And so we got the waterfalls where they can go, the hot tub can go, and all that stuff. And then she says, and you know how you sit on them benches, And we got those benches all the way around, which I love. I think they're bad to the bone. The only problem with the benches is when people outside the pool. Like if they're outside the pool and you're here, you're sitting on that bench and you're trying to make it look cool and you're trying to fit in, and because you want to talk to him. So like Nick's out of the pool, right? And I'm trying to get comfortable on this bench, but it's in my way. You know, the wall's in my way. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And you cutting yourself because you're doing like this, and you're trying so hard to get this thing figured out, right? I said I'll get some of them, but I want some bar stools. Because I want to be able to look at Nick when he's outside the pool and do this. Y'all with me?
That's right.
So we got 3 bar stools where you can actually go all the way. Your knees don't hit nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I got them bar stools. And I asked Tamara the other day, I said, you make sure them bar stools are low enough. I said, because we went to some in Cabo. Yeah, we went to this pool in Cabo, and the bar stools are too daggum high. And you set up in there, and like your belly's up there showing, you know?
You don't want the neighbors on.
And so for 2 hours, you're sucking in. You are so tired by the time that 2 hours are, you know, and of course I only order water, so I'm ordering my water, and they're ordering their beers, and you know, I'm able to hold mine in longer because they drinking beer, so it's, you know, but we all sucking in the best we can, trying to play it cool, you know. We should record our voices. You know they sound different. Like, hey man, how's it going, dude? All right. So I told my baby, I said, Tamara, I said, we got to get them lowered. That way when you sit down there, the water covers everything, you just let go. How you doing? Y'all with me? So they're low enough, I hope. We haven't gotten in yet. We haven't gotten in yet, but I kept looking. Tamara goes, they're fine. They're low enough. I have promised everybody they're going to be. I told Terry those will be low enough so he can let go. Right? And so problems, right? Problems. And so we got that thing going. We're excited about that. And oh yeah, Tamara says to me the other day, she says, hey, they're finishing up the pool. We got to go to pool school. And immediately I started having flashbacks of I gotta go get some cigarettes and go under the bleachers and smoke. I said, I tell you what, while you're doing that, I'm gonna be out back smoking a cigarette. She goes, you don't smoke no more. I said, well, if we're going to school, we got to do this thing right, you know. And she goes, but you need to be there to take notes. I said, I'm just like school. I'm gonna copy off your notes. And she goes, you are going to pool school. And I said, well, this feels a lot like high school, where my mom made me go. And so I guess I'll go. Well, it so happened to be the day they went to pool school, I wasn't there. So I got to skip school on pool school. Yeah, so she went through pool school without me. And I love this. This is the best part of why I'm telling you this, is as they're telling her all the things she's got to do. It's a saltwater pool to keep everything, all the chemicals, this, that, and the other. My wife's a rule follower. God, I love her. I'm not. She's just a rule follower, right? She keeps me out of jail. And so what she does is she's like, but at some point there was too many rules. And she said, can we take a time out? And the dude says, yeah, sure. What? Can I just pay someone to do all this? And he said, yeah, I'll do it. Hired. She called me up and she said, hey, is it okay if I hired someone to do the pool stuff? Because I was getting lost. I said, oh yeah, that's good. She goes, okay, good, because I already hired him. I said, rock on, you know. I mean, seriously, we lost our last home. We're going to do this thing right, you know. But check this out. We're going through all this stuff. We're still battling stuff. We're still under construction. Here's what I need from everybody in this room. I need you to overcome. Because when you overcome, someone's waiting on the other side for you to overcome. They're waiting for you to overcome so you can help them overcome. Overcome what? I don't know. You know, alcohol is an addiction. Everybody understands it. They see it. They get it. I got it. Right? But there's so many other addictions out there. You know, the addiction to blaming. That's a horrible addiction. Losing is a horrible addiction. Right? I need winning to be your addiction. Right? I don't even want to go through all the addictions, but it's crazy. The shame. Oh, dear Lord. This country is gripped by shame because people carry so much shame they can't be free. And when you can't be free, you can't win. I need you to forgive yourself. And so I need some of y'all to overcome shame so you can hold somebody, hug somebody, tell them you love them, and let them know they're going to overcome shame too. Right? You need to overcome whatever things you're holding on to so you can help somebody. You need to overcome a scarcity mindset. You hang around Andy Albright long enough, you're going to get abundance mindset.
Right.
Every time someone says, how do you get an abundance mindset? I said, I hang out with Andy. You can't help but have an abundance mindset by hanging out with Andy because he takes you places.
Yeah, he do.
I remember he took me to the Bahamas. I go to the Bahamas. I said, all big boat. I said, that's a big boat. That's a big boat. And then I saw another boat that had boats on top of that boat. That's a bigger boat, right? And then I saw another boat that had boats on top of it and jet skis on top of it. And then I saw another boat that had boats on it, jet skis on top, and had a helicopter. I was like, I get it, Andy. There's a lot of money in the world. There's no scarcity, guys. It's out there to exist. I need you to overcome this because somebody's waiting for you on the other side. I mean, I love the broken video and the things that we've helped people with by overcoming alcohol, but it wasn't about me. It was about other people waiting for me to overcome that so they too could overcome that. Yeah. They're waiting. Someone's waiting for you right now to become agency manager. Someone's waiting for you right now to hit EVP. So they can look at you and say, okay, I can do this too. Melody, they're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to overcome these things. Because once you overcome, oh, by the way, when you're in the addiction, you're alone. When you're in the shame, you're alone. It's one of the most loneliest places in the world. So scary. I hate it. Just thinking about the days when I would shake so bad from alcohol withdrawals, only to hurry up and get some tequila in me so I quit shaking. How lonely that place was. And then all I had to realize is on the other side of that, and just letting go of that, all these people come into my life. I was never alone. You're never alone. You feel like you're alone by this circumstance. You're not alone. You're not alone. You just got to let go. Quit. Fire the liar inside of you. The one that's lying to you that says you ain't good enough, that you can't make it, that there is scarcity, right? Fire that person. It's over with. It's done. You with me? We are helping my daughter, my oldest daughter, Tori, overcome her eating disorder. She is bulimic. She suffers from bulimia, I should say. Nasty addiction. It grips you in so many areas of life that just, it freaked me out, Tia and Terry, when I started learning about this. The control issues that come with it, the craziness that comes with it, the split personalities that come with it. It's insane. It's sad. I look at my daughter all the time and say, Tori, yours is much worse than mine. I just got to quit drinking. You've always got to eat. You've got to battle this every day. I admire you. I respect you. I love you. And she goes, Dad, I don't respect and love myself. I said, you will. You will. We're going to get through this together. And now she's reading books. We've put her in counseling. She's done all this crazy. Now she hit her rock bottom. Hey guys, she hit her rock bottom to the point where me and Tamara wanted to give up on her. We just wanted to give up. I was like, wits end. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, right? But all while I'm going to EVP, this is going on in my life. Nobody knows. Andy knows and Jane knows. That's it. That's it. No one else needs to know. But we're going through this battle, watching her hit rock bottom, watching her do stupid things, watching her, and now she's coming out victorious on the other side. And she's reading great books. The other day she sent this to me, and I want to read it to you. She said, Dad, I was reading this book the other day, and it said something very eye-opening I want to share. When we are in shame, we often have a visceral and physical response. It's emotionally overwhelming, but we often feel it in our bodies. That was the quote from the book. She then goes on to say, when I'm in an episode, this is her talking now, when I'm in an episode, or even just having a day where I get frustrated looking in the mirror, that's pretty bad. You just frustrate yourself looking in the mirror. I become mean, snappy, angry. I become a different version of myself. I become overly moody, and I get unnecessarily angry and worked up over stupid stuff. I've noticed this has gotten healthy. I noticed as I've gotten healthier. She couldn't notice it before. But as she's getting healthier, she notices what happens. And when I start to get like that, I take a deep breath and I reset my thoughts. I just didn't realize those emotions were stemming from shame. This book is blowing my mind. I feel like I could finally learn how to overcome shame. We got to read books, guys. I'm almost tired of getting up here preaching we got to read books and no one goes home and reads books. But I ain't going to give up on you just like I didn't give up on her. I'm going to keep saying it. As much as it frustrates me to keep saying it and people ain't doing it, and it makes me mad and it hurts me and makes me upset that you ain't reading, I'm going to keep saying it because I know you'll overcome these things if you start reading books. I'm watching her, I'm watching her emotional, what's it called, the emotional intelligence? I'm watching her emotional intelligence just go through the roof. Just things that drove her nuts and she couldn't handle, she's now handling. I watch people in my organization, Toby, they just, anything bothers them and they just go in a tailspin and their emotional intelligence is low, very, very low. They're starting to say emotional, EI is what they're calling it, right? Emotional intelligence is stronger than IQ, right? Don't matter. I mean, your IQ is important, don't get me wrong, but your emotional intelligence, how you handle things, right? And I'm watching her emotional intelligence go through the roof because she's reading books. And then I watch leaders around me, when the slightest little itty bitty thing happens, Mia, they go in a tailspin and they fall apart. What's happening? They're not reading books. Here's the beautiful thing about emotional intelligence that fires me up and should fire everybody in this room up. It should excite you to everything in your body. You know what it is? We can all improve our emotional intelligence. I ain't going to improve my IQ. I read y'all my SAT verbals and SAT math last night. SAT verbals, the highest you can get to 800. I got a 270. SAT math, I got a 290. The highest you can get that. So 16 out of 1,600 points, I got what? I can't do the math clearly. But I can improve my emotional intelligence, how I react and handle things. So can you. And you can teach others to do it. Don't give up on them. Yes, I got people on my team that drive me nuts. I was telling you about that today. But I'm not giving up on them. You know why? Because we can improve their emotional intelligence. I shouldn't say I can do it. I can help them do it. I can point them in the directions of reading books. My youngest daughter is now reading books too, and she says, "Wow, Dad, I had a holy cow moment this morning while reading. I'm reading The Bait of Satan, and it was talking about not letting yourself get offended by the leadership role in your life. By not getting offended by your leaders in your life." I'm getting a little excited here, sorry. I often let myself get offended by, she named her bosses, I'm going to leave them out of here, my bosses, and I get too much, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop letting them offend me from here on out. It was a real eye-opener and a holy cow moment. It wasn't until I started reading this book that I realized things I've never even realized or knew about myself. 22 years old. She's getting it figured out. You with me? So happy and thankful you are having me read this book, Dad. I'm seeing several areas in my life and actions I need to improve upon. I never thought I needed to grow or make improvements in my life. It was just a moment of realization. I now truly understand the meaning of why reading is so important to continue doing the rest of my life. Like John Maxwell, my daughter's quoting John Maxwell. Like John Maxwell said, I will never be satisfied with myself or the best version of myself if I don't keep reading and growing. My daughter's quoting Maxwell. Why? Because I overcame and she was waiting for me to overcome. Someone's waiting for you to overcome right now. Quit complaining about what's going on in life. Somebody needs you. It just so happens to be both my daughters need me. Right? Someone needs you. Someone needs you in this business to overcome. Someone needs you in your personal life to overcome. Someone needs you to overcome. Hey, by the way, I'm still a jacked up mess. I'm still... Watch what you say, Paul. That was me putting on the brakes, by the way. It was coming out. I had to really lock it. I mean, the car was coming quick. I was stepping on them suckers. Yeah, there was all out of control going on there. Jane Albright, by the way, you are alive. Your heart, your spirit's in the Alliance. I remember when I first quit drinking, and I went to a NC State game that Andy invited me to, and she was worried about there was going to be alcohol there. So I liked Diet Root Beer at the time, so she got me a bunch of Diet Root Beers, and she put my initials on the top of each diet. I opened the cooler, to try to find something that I could drink, and there was my Diet Root Beer. So Jane, your spirit and everything's in the Alliance because they put all of our initials on each one of ours, but we ain't smart enough. We've been drinking after everybody the whole time up here. It's a mess over here. But people are waiting for you to overcome. How well do you lead yourself through the storm? How well do you lead yourself through just little bitty struggles. Does everybody know about it? Do you have to let everybody know every little bit of every struggle? Or do you lead yourself to a point to where no one even knows you're going through it? Nobody on his team knew what he was going through with his son Jake and the things he has to do. Even to this day, what he has to do. It's amazing the balancing act that he creates. And do me a favor, if your leader says go 6 hours somewhere, go do it. The moment you say to them, I can't afford it, I'm going to say, cool, you can't afford it. Don't tell me. Go do it. Notice what he said. He said, do it. I did it. Right? The moment you negotiate that you can't go, I'm going to join forces with you because I ain't going to be the one that pushes you. I'm going to give you the thumbs up and say, yeah, rock on. You shouldn't go. I'm not telling you to go because I think it's kind of fun to watch you do it. Let's see if he goes for it. Wow, he went. Check it out. He went again. Wow, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I know you can be successful. I remember years ago, Michael Owens and Jeremy Patton called me up and they said, hey, when's this money thing going to start rolling in for us, man? We've been doing this thing for a while. We want to feel good about it. We're tired of that anxiety. We're tired of the pain. We're tired of the unknown. When's it going to happen? I said, I tell both of you something. Set 20 appointments this week, write $10,000 this weekend, and we're not having this stupid conversation next week. And thank God both them men are simple, and they said, all right. And no kidding, they both wrote over $10,000, and I was like, shoo! Thank God that worked, right? And we never had that conversation again. In fact, their bond, they pushed each other, they made each other stronger, they made each other better. You with me? But if they'd have negotiated with me, not much I can do. I don't negotiate with Andy when he tells me to do something. There's no negotiation. It's like he's telling me for a reason. I'm going to go. And thank God I continue to gobble up books. By the way, here's how you increase your emotional intelligence. I can't even think of the word anymore. The emotional intelligence is by reading books that challenge you. Read books that challenge you. It'll start to increase your emotional intelligence. I remember 7 years ago, Tim Goad said to me, Paul, I need you to go out and find somebody that can weather the storm. I need you to find people that can go out there and have a high emotional intelligence. That's going to have Andy's back no matter what. I need you to go find them. And then when we find them, we need to go find about 8 more because you need 10 just like that. So go out and find them. Go out and find those ones that when things go wrong, they're cool. They can act, no big deal. Because that's what's separating. Because I have other people with great work ethic, horrible emotional intelligence. They're done. They're going to hit this level and be done. Now, they might sneak in there and get agency manager, and they might sneak in there and even get DM for all that matters. But they're going to continue down the gossip road and all the other stuff going on in their life. Their emotional intelligence is going to keep hitting them. Going to keep hitting them. Going to keep hitting them. Right? Instead, go out and find people that already got it and then help others increase their emotional intelligence. Go out and help others. Because it's something we can learn. Like I don't think I can teach you how to dunk a basketball, can I? No. Right? Chris, can I teach you how to dunk a basketball? Yeah, I don't think so. And so, but I can help people increase their emotional intelligence. What a blessing. What a blessing that is. Right? I want to end on this. First off, did I leave anything out?
Killed it.
Okay. Tim Goad said this to us this weekend. He said, by the way, can I tell you why I hang out with Tim Goad? I hang out with Goad because I don't know of anybody better to show me Andy Albright's vision than him. When Tim Goad talks about Andy Albright and his vision, I feel like I'm living it. I'm living it. People say to me, I don't get from Tim Goad what you get from him. I said, here's why. You go to him and dump all your problems and want him to fix you. When I'm around Tim Goad, you can ask Jeremy and Dr. Phil. When I'm around Tim Goad, I shut up. And he tells me, Paul, the hand of God is on Andy Albright, bro. Do not let go. Don't put yourself in a position where we can't defend you, buddy. You hold on to Andy Albright with all of your might and don't let go. Don't let go. I'm like, cool, got it. And he goes, Paul, I've seen this happen before. Y'all going to 25,000 people in a stadium. It's going to happen. It's not if, or we hope. I want to. We going. We going. Hold on to him. Because I've seen other people that don't have near the talent, they don't have near the character that he has, or the clarity in his life that he has, and they pulled this off. I can promise you, he's going to pull this off. Hang around and watch the show. And better yet, be part of the show. If you're in the struggle stage, we need to help move you to the success stage. Okay? And then when you get to the success stage, we then need to move you to the significant stage. I feel I'm in the success stage. I believe Andy Albright's in the significant stage. I want to move to the significant stage. But if you're in the struggle stage, it's okay. Take a deep breath. You can come over to the success stage. Everybody's welcome. Everybody welcome, right, Chris? Everybody welcome. Everybody welcome, right?
That's right. Come on in.
Come on in. Struggle stage, we're going to get you to the success stage. Right? And then we're going to get you to the significant stage. My dear friends, Brian and Melody, who are on the front row right now, are 164 days sober. And I told them this morning at breakfast, you're in the success stage. Pretty soon, you're going to move to the significant stage. And you're going to change people's lives. Melody and Brian, as I look at y'all just look perfect, like nothing's going on in y'all's life. Just a little cute couple, everything's perfect, buttoned up. People need you to go to the significant stage. The Alliance needs you. The United States of America needs you to go to the significant stage because you're going to help people. There's people out there that are in desperation, that quiet desperation of loneliness that you and I both are too far aware of. They're scared, right? Guess what? Some of y'all are in the struggle stage. I need to get you over to the success stage. And then we need to move you over to the significant stage. You see how this thing works? It just keeps going on. It's just like our have fun, make money, make a difference. That's all I'm saying. Prosperity, inspiration, eternity. That's all I'm saying. We want to go to significance. That's where we're headed. That's where we're not just meant to be successful for us. We're meant to be significant for others. Someone is waiting for you to overcome the battle. Someone is on their hands and knees waiting for you to go through the battle so they can just come in behind you, and be in the significant stage. And then show them how to live in freedom, right? And then go buy cool purple shoes like this. I have no idea why I'm posing like this. I love the Alliance. I love Andy Albright. I love Jane Albright. I love y'all. I need y'all. I need y'all bad. I need y'all to overcome. I need you to realize that we're all broken. We're all under construction. It's okay. But I need you. 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 I need every one of you. Okay? Come through these stages with us and help. Let's all, hey, you ready? Let's end on this. We're going to make the Alliance significant. Love you guys.